If your team can't play a horizontal stack, please watch this video. Inside, I go through step by step how I would implement horizontal stack in a team that's never played it before. And these are actually the exact same processes that I used when I coached Macquarie University for Australian University Nationals. Stick around if you're curious on what it's like to work with me. I'll leave some information in the description below. Otherwise, enjoy. The first thing when it comes to horizontal, and again, like when it comes to drilling things, we want to emulate the similar patterns that come up in game. Okay. So in order for us to create a effective drill for learning horizontal stack and practicing horizontal stack, we first want to understand, okay, what are actually the cutting patterns that we want to be presenting in game? Does that make sense?
Yep.
And so depending on how you want to play it, like different teams will have different types of cutting patterns when it comes to horo, vert, whatever it is. But there are a few common patterns that come up when it comes to horizontal, right? There are a few
Mhm.
spaces on the field that are typical spaces where we want to attack when it comes to horo. Okay.
Yep.
So I think what I'd like to do is share with you what I like to think about, like the few key spaces that I like to teach my teams when they're attacking,
Mhm.
playing horizontal. And then we
Yep.
can go into a drill to target that specific type of movement. Sound good?
Yep.
So I think first of all, like from a theory perspective, you got to think horizontal stack. The difference between horizontal stack and vertical stack is that horizontal stack opens up two spaces, one in front of the disc and one behind the disc. So these are your
Mhm.
two lanes, if you will, compared to vertical stack,
Mhm.
where your lanes are on the left and the
Mhm.
right, right?
Mhm.
And so for me, when I'm thinking about, okay, why would I actually use horizontal stack in a game? It's because it gives you a lot more access to the end zone. So I think
Mhm.
one of the most threatening assets of horizontal stack is that you can cut to the end zone and there's no other defenders that can really
Mhm.
help you, right? And so in
Yep.
that way, it's threatening. And so in that way, when I work on teams with horizontal stack, I like to prioritize patterns where we're presenting options to the end zone first, if that makes sense. So
Okay.
I'll go through the cutting pattern first, and this is just one of
Okay.
many that you could do with horo. And then I want to go through a drill that you can do to actually work on this. Okay?
I have a quick question
Yeah,
before you go
please.
on. When do you, I mean, besides if someone throws a zone and
Hmm.
then, it's a cup, then from my experience, it's when someone throws a cup and everyone's like, okay, it's a cup. We have to go horizontal. But
Hmm.
when would you ever decide to go horizontal besides someone throwing a cup? Like windy or what? Or, I mean,
Yeah, no,
probably not windy.
that's a great question. Um,
Mhm.
so if a team plays match,
Mhm.
you can play any offense you like that the
Yep.
team strengths lie, where
Mhm.
where the team's strengths
Mhm.
lie. If vertical stack is your strength, like, and you like working in two different lanes, play vertical stack.
Mhm.
Horizontal
Mhm.
stack is like if you have players that like these long cutting patterns and like to open up more of the end zone and don't want to
Mhm.
play against too much help, right? Like that's a situation where horizontal stack, like you can just play it instead of vert. So even if
Okay.
this like the defense is still playing match, you can throw horizontal as a match
Yeah.
offensive look. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yep. Yep.
And so basically, like generally speaking, horizontal is more spread out. You can see how
Mhm.
there's no clusters of players. Everyone is spread out
Yep.
across the field. And what that
Mhm.
means is it's difficult for defenders to help each other and to try surround or help each other in defense. And so
Mhm.
horizontal is a bit more exposing, right? It opens up
Okay.
more throwing lanes and it means that it's difficult for defenders to help.
Okay.
So actually, like there's a lot of teams in Australia and across the world that actually start their offenses playing horizontal instead of vert.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even if it's match, they'll just say like, okay, we're going to start horo. we're going to play that up till halfway up on the field, and then we're going to play
Yeah.
vertical stack from there. And that's
Okay.
a typical approach when it comes to playing like match offense. It's common way.
So it's just a preference thing rather than like a strategic thing. Like, would you do it as like, okay, the defenders are, you know, not that strong in the opponent team. Let's
Mm-hmm.
try a horizontal. Like, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. You
okay.
can do that. And the other thing is,
Um,
yeah, it can be preference. Like if your
mhm,
team is stronger in
mhm,
horizontal cutting patterns and working in pairs,
mhm,
then
mhm.
I would go with a horo, right? If
Okay.
you need to
Mhm,
open up more end zone options, like horo is
okay.
advantageous there as well. And
Yeah.
yeah, as you're saying, like, if you're in a situation where in vertical, like they're kind of playing a bit poachy or they're helping each
Mhm,
other out and it's hard for you to break through those poachers, then
yeah.
horizontal makes it harder for them to poach. There's still ways that
Okay.
you can do it in horo, but it's slightly
Yeah.
harder just because of how
Okay.
spread out everyone is.
Yeah.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Cool. That makes sense.
So next time at pickup or at training, I'd encourage you
Mm,
to maybe try. All right, we're going to go
mm,
horo, no matter what they come down in on defense. We're going to go horo for the
mm,
first half, and
mm,
then up to
mm.
half, we're going to collapse into vertical.
Okay. All
Cool.
right. Cool.
Any
Hmm.
questions on that?
Nope. That's good.
Even some teams will do the horo as a initiating play, and as soon
Mm,
as they get just one gainer, then everyone downfield will fold into vertical stack.
okay.
So sometimes it
Cool.
can just be used as like an initiating play, and there's different plays that you can do separate to, I guess, your rules of horo that you can kind of do to
Hmm.
get the disc forward. We can talk about that if you're interested in kind of the set plays and stuff later, but I know for the
Hmm.
purpose of this call, you're interested in the drills.
Yep. Yep.
So let me
Cool.
take you through
Okay.
a common pattern that I
Hmm.
like with my players. First of all, I make sure that they set up kind of in this triple threat position where they're not too deep and they're not too short as
Hmm.
well. So that way,
Hmm.
this front of the disc space is very open and the deep space is open as well. Okay. The first cutting pattern that I kind of like to present is this blue player just presents deep. Because again, horizontal, one of the benefits is that you have more of that deep space. There's less help over
Hmm.
there. And then
Hmm.
this blue player will go out and then present in and try go into this space that was just vacated by this blue player.
Okay.
So in
Hmm.
real time, it might look something like this. I'm just going to take away, I'll keep the defenders there, but this player is going to make this deep cut and this player might follow them out. All of a sudden, there's a big space vacated here. And then this player
Yep.
can, it might not be as dramatic as this, but it might just be like a little jab and then they come for
Yep.
this big gainer over here.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's kind
Yeah.
of the default cutting pattern that I've kind of taught with my players when I was coaching Macquarie University is presenting that deep cut first and then filling that deep cut from the one beside. Um, so the way you would drill that is simply all you need is like two people, right? You can get a
Yep.
line. So
Okay.
you might have these people line up in pairs, right? Would maybe
Yep.
do red and blue, no defense to start.
Hmm.
And then all you would do is get them to line up, find this kind of triple threat position. This person will present deep. This person will make that cut. We'll throw it here. And then as they're presenting deep, as this person gets the cut, they can change direction and get the next pass.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's the
Okay.
very basic, like first progression is like no defense. We're going to have this person present deep, this person cut into here, one,
Hmm.
two.
Yep.
And so you can do that on what I would do is get the lines going here. We're going to have like a throwing line, a cutting line.
Okay.
And so people can kind of rotate through the different positions as well. So maybe you go
Yep.
throw, mark, cut, and then go into the line. And after you cut, you go to the throwing line.
Hmm.
So you can get a bit of a
Okay.
rotation going.
Yep.
And so you can do this first with two peoples with no defense. Then you
Hmm.
can flip the force. So have everyone go on the other side, and then you can go backhand
Hmm.
force, same thing. So in this
Yeah.
situation, you got deep, under,
Yeah.
connect,
Mm-hmm.
connect.
Yeah.
And so that's the kind of first layer one of what that drill will look like. And you can add more
Okay.
complexity by putting in one defender, a loose defender,
Mm-hmm.
or you can, for example, like make the out cut an option as well. So like if this person goes,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you might just immediately hit that just to
Yeah.
practice, right? Or you might
Yeah.
get this person coming in and then maybe you'll hit the huck towards the end zone just to practice as well. So from
Yeah.
there, you can open up a few different options. Does that
Yeah.
kind of make sense?
Yeah. So just getting used to the pattern really, because invert, it's like we're so used to just running straight diagonal.
Yeah, it's getting used to the patterns.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very hard to go straight to a game and say, all right, let's do horizontal stack because people don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to move, right?
No.
But the idea is like if we can, and I'll just do this for like simple demonstration's sake, but if we can get used to doing this in a drill, bang,
Mm-hmm.
bang, 1, 2, then it's
Yeah.
like, okay, now when you're in a game and you actually have defenders, right? You're
Yeah.
just gonna replicate the same pattern. It's still gonna feel a
Yeah.
bit different, but you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be able to recognize, identify the situation, and say, all right, just like the drill, just like the drill. All right, let's push deep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's make this
Mm-hmm.
cut, and then
Mm-hmm.
let's try continue. And
Yeah.
then you'd be surprised if you can tie those steps one by one together. You'd be
Mm-hmm.
surprised how effective, even just a few sessions, how effective you can get the offense to start flowing in a new structure.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
That kind of makes sense.
Yes.
Cool. I don't want to overload you and your team when it comes to like this structure. I think it's
Mm-hmm.
most impactful when you keep things simple,
Mm-hmm.
and when you're presenting those deep options. Because I think
Yeah.
what a lot of teams struggle with is they think, oh, we got to like win the matchup. We've got to try get open on our player. But sometimes all you need to do is cut deep, and you'll be surprised how often that's actually on. And when you do cut deep, it also opens up huge space in the middle of the field for someone
Mm-hmm.
else to throw to, which is one
Okay.
benefit of this structure as well.
So for the two players on the wing, like I know you just demonstrated the middle two.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So when those is that sorry, the the side two, do they start doing the um deep and then running into space if the disc is on their side? Like you
Yeah,
just
yeah.
repeat the same pattern.
So
What?
there's
Yeah.
again, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of depends on what type of way you want to play it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What a lot of teams will do is when the disc does swing, for example, and now you have
Mm-hmm.
these two that are in front of the disc, they
Yeah.
will have these two become the active cutters, and then
Yep.
these two will kind of move, do that kind of motion, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
you can still do the
Yep.
same, right? This person kind of cutting deep, and then this
Yep.
person trying to attack this space.
Yep.
The thing is, because of the alignment of the field, like
Mm-hmm.
this option is kind of difficult to hit. It's the same
Mm-hmm.
third, like maybe this person will be pushing across as well, so it's hard to hit
Mm-hmm.
this option.
Yep.
And so maybe it's still worthwhile presenting that because this might be a good option here.
Mm-hmm.
But that's when like you can start thinking about different cutting patterns that you might be able to explore. So I can take you through
Mm-hmm.
one example if you like,
Mm-hmm.
if the disc is on the sideline.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one example or one technique that you might be able to do, especially when the disc is on the sideline, is our goal is kind of to try and get the disc towards the center of the field, ideally, because the center of the field is where you can attack the most spaces, right?
Mm-hmm.
So one option, if the disc is on the sideline, is you can try and attack this player, can initiate and try and attack this inside area of the field.
Yep.
So maybe
Mm-hmm.
they'll be a bit shorter and they'll just kind of slash across like this. Okay. Or maybe
Mm-hmm.
it can be a bit more horizontal. But the idea is if they can do this, then all of a sudden we're happy days in the middle of the field again, and we can continue
Yep.
playing through the middle.
Yep.
But the other thing that does is because they're cutting this way and it takes the defender out, it opens up this area of the field, and then all of a sudden this player can do that. Same kind of motion. And so simply, instead of having this player cut deep, they can just go across the field, try and get the disc back towards the middle. If not, it opens up a big space for this person to use.
Okay.
And of course, like if you can't get it downfield, that's fine. You know, defenses are going to win some matchups and moments in games. So the idea is we just go to our normal reset system, see if we can swing the disc, and then start attacking from the middle again.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yeah. So I think like if you can go step by step in terms of like drilling some of those, like you can drill what it's like to be in the middle of the field, you can drill what it's like to be on the sideline. Those, once the team gets confident in trying some of those, they'll be able to translate that into game a lot more easier. But the idea is it's kind of difficult to go straight into game without knowing what the cuts actually are.
Yeah, I remember playing horror for the first time and just being so confused and lost. And then I think someone explained to me and just said, as if the person next to you is moving forward, you pull your defender back so they have more space. Then if they come back in, you go back in. That sort of, they call it like a piston. Like I don't know if that you guys use that term, but just keep moving back and front, back and front.
Yeah. Again, like there's different ways to play it. There's a good resource online that helps as well, that kind of talks through the different shapes you can consider. But I think what I found most success in is presenting a deep option early to open up space. But then the other two like ways that people typically like think about it is like pistons. Yeah, like go up and down, down and up, or whatever. And then the other like more common, especially in Australia, more common way of thinking about horror is we call a diamond. So this person like cutting, like trying to get this inside shot, and then this person kind of going like that. So kind of like a diamond shape.
Okay.
And so this is kind of like what we talked about on the sideline, where this person's attacking that inside. And then it opens up more space for this person to set up a big, like deep cut and then undercut. This is what we call like diamond cutting or pair cutting. And this is kind of more common. This is what players typically get taught when they first get introduced to kind of horror cutting patterns in Australia, is like diamond cutting. I'm not a huge fan of that, because I feel like there's more to be won by presenting an early deep option, at least for the teams that I've coached. But like at a high level, and certainly like when you are attacking all the options, diamond cutting is like very solid.
You've got to have fit team players too, because it's just constantly moving, right?
Well, the idea is you just get one pass and then you connect, and then you connect once more and the point is over. It's like ideal situation for the diamond cutting example. We make an inside cut. Get the disc here. Like this person's already moving here. Cutting now, they're cutting deep and it's on. We just throw this backhand and it should be a goal.
Okay.
Like that would be a perfect scenario. Is like diamond cut, inside cuts is on, backhand huck, win.
Okay.
And so it's effective in that way, because you can see like in a vertical stack, you're not going to get so much space in the end zone because there's other people there.
No.
Right. And so like that's also a cutting pattern that you can try and run and try and simulate in a drill. Is like, why don't we have this person setting up deep, this person going for the undercut, break side cut, and then all of a sudden this guy's going to go deep and we'll take that. Again, possibilities are endless as long as you know what cutting patterns you're looking for.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.